All right, hey everybody, welcome to the very first installment of our podcast. My name is Yuval Parker, and I have Blake with me, and Gabe and Zach. Pretty much the point of this podcast is just to talk about what's making an impact on our lives as young millennials. We're all 20, 21, 22 here. Actually, I don't know, is anyone 20 here, or are we all 21? I think we're all 21.
I think you got 21 for me.
21 clear.
21.
All right. So I've got a list of topics and everything, ranging for just whatever it is, and we'll just kind of have a conversation about what's going on in our lives. So, first off, let's just jump into it. We're not going to explain who's here, what kind of personalities. We'll just let everybody figure that out on their own. So, let's talk about one thing is our work ethic. So, kind of how it was developed and kind of what we see around us. So, for example, I'm definitely one of the sort where you're going to work and do your shit, and if someone tells you to do something, you're not going to respond with, but I don't wanna, and go from there. And so I was just curious if everyone kind of on the same page, because I know we're kind of all raised in the same environment, more or less. So anyone have any input or feedback on that? Blake?
On our backgrounds or on our work ethic?
Work ethic. Work
Okay.
ethic. So, because I know, Blake, you're a hardworking man. Tell me more about that.
I don't know. The work ethic didn't develop until about my freshman year of college. I was a pretty badass cheater all the way through high school. Figured out a bunch of ways just to do just enough. And when it came down to actually going to college and getting my degree, it turned in, I don't know, it was just a switch that went on inside my head where either, you want to be successful or not. And I guess the ironic thing about all that is I'm not even using my degree towards what my future career I want to be. So you could say college was all for nothing, but no, it taught me a lot about working hard and just keeping your head down and not looking up until the job is done.
So, if you got a really piece of shit boss who's like, Blake, I need you to take out the trash. Blake, I need you to sweep the floor. Blake, and he spits on the floor in front of you. Blake, clean up the spit. You're just going to say, yes, sir?
You don't clean up that spit now, boy.
You're not going to bitch about it?
It depends on the situation. Sometimes you got to do what you got to do. I'm Irish, so I don't, I keep all my feelings inside and then I die. So
sure, of course.
So if you...
Well, so then, how many of us, let me ask, how many of us have worked in high school? Got high school jobs?
Definitely.
Yes. Wait. Yes.
High school jobs.
Yes. I'm Gabe, by the way.
I'm Gabe.
He's over here like, yes, you know me. No.
No, you don't know me.
No.
Well, so Zach, you didn't work because you were focusing on school, or what?
I didn't work because I didn't drive up until my senior year, and even then I was terrified, and so didn't really...
Of driving or working?
Of driving.
Oh, okay.
I think it's a little bit of both.
No, not of working at all. I mean, I had a fairly good work ethic during high school. It definitely wasn't anything compared to once I hit college, because in high school everything felt so I wouldn't say meaningless, but kind of along the lines there, where it's it just was annoying, and it's you didn't feel like you were going anywhere. But once I hit college, in particular, it really just changed dramatically. And, I guess it's like everything's real.
Was that more of your input, I'm going to do it, or did you have external factors, your parents were like, hey, you motherfucker, you need to do good in school?
No, it was mostly all me. It was mostly something that I just thought of myself, like, hey, this is maybe a fresh start, and to really make a name for yourself, or to challenge yourself to be better.
By the way, guys, just if you want to chime in, change the subject, if you have something to say, literally, this is just an open platform. We're not trying to we have to talk about work ethic for 10 minutes and then talk about this for the next, I want it to be a natural conversation for us. So,
yes, sir.
So, Professor Yuval.
Yeah, what's
Gabe.
up?
As for my work ethic, I worked at McDonald's when I was in high school.
That's right, I remember.
Yes.
Gotta respect that.
By the way, we'll give a little information on all of us. So, Gabe and I, we went to the same high school together in Frisco. Zach and I, we went to the same middle school for a little bit, because I lived in Allen, went to Plano schools, then we moved to Frisco, and then in college I met Blake at Jason's Deli, because we're badass motherfuckers, and And
Hardly.
hey, I take offense to that. But yeah, so sorry, go ahead, Gabe. So you're working at McDonald's in high school, and like, was it just I need a job because I want extra cash, or was it like your parents were like, oh, Gabriel, you need to? We're both Jewish, by the way. Gabriel, you need to.
Like that?
No, they are South American.
That's the stereotype, apparently.
They're South American, so they speak a lot of Spanish
that's right.
and also Hebrew mixed in. And now that I'm actually able to get a word in edgewise, I'm under heavy surveillance here, apparently, controlling what I say.
Go ahead, Gabe. Like I said, open platform.
Open platform, yet he keeps chiming in every 5 seconds. I worked at McDonald's as a cashier.
So, Blake... no, I'm sorry.
Right.
Go ahead.
The next sound you're going to hear is me smashing this fucking microphone.
All right, go ahead. I'm sorry.
That sound was Yuval kneeing the table, trying
My
to
bad.
footsie me.
My bad.
But basically, I worked as a server cashier at McDonald's, just an average job. I hated it. That was for high school, and now I have a retail job. But work ethic wise, like for money work, like where I make money, cash. I definitely work hard, and I like to say I'm better with people than something. I mean, I do the menial stuff as well. I carry around like 20 to 30 to 40 pound boxes.
Mm-hmm.
I actually serve a lot of parents because I work in Bye Bye Baby right now.
Yeah, it's a good place.
Yeah, and a lot of people are like, "Oh, so you must see all the MILFs around." And
You're about to say, are you into pregnant chicks?
Well, when I'm into them, they're not pregnant. After that, they are.
I
get it.
You could.
Yeah.
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
No, but like, okay, so
Sex.
back to McDonald's real quick.
Yeah.
But like,
Happy
why?
is my life.
Why McDonald's? I mean, everyone knows McDonald's is a crap place and no one likes working there. So like, was it just the first place you thought of working, or was it easier, or what?
Well, after I was offered a position as, let's see, what was it, CFO of TI, I decided I'd like to go with something a bit more casual. But no, really, honestly, ironically, I sent my resume to all these places. McDonald's answered back. I'm very bad about sending out resumes. I'll apply to like 5 places and then wait a week. 5 places, then wait a week. I think I waited like 10 places until McDonald's got back to me. And after the interview, I did the interview and it went well. And after the interview, they're like, okay, and the last thing, can you smile? And that's the first time I smiled in 2 years, I think. But yeah, it's your average. Like, what else is there to say? I hated it. It was a McDonald's job. The people were kind of cool, but I spilled a drink on some guy once, and he actually was really cool about it.
Like on purpose or?
On accident.
Oh, okay.
And he made this "blar" sound. Like, it's really weird "blar" sound. Like he really was pissed off, but no, he was actually really cool about it.
Okay.
And one thing that was kind of funny is one of the guys who worked there was just a real dickhead. Like he was sort of the senior partner of McDonald's, and he was teaching me how to do all these things. He's like, "Oh, my girlfriend got me these Rangers tickets," and he'd be such a jerk like about teaching me to do the right thing. And so when I quit and went to Einstein Bagels a year later, he was working there in Einstein Bagels. So I say,
Are you serious?
yes, I'll have a cheese garlic bagel. He gets a cheese garlic bagel. I asked for the chopped onions and chives, please. I just fuck it up on him, and he was so pissed off that he couldn't do anything. Anyway, that's my work ethic. You know, you fuck with me, you get the back end of the stick.
Oh, okay. So you're very eye for an eye. What is that?
I'm very passive aggressive, bitchy in my workplace.
Well, I feel like I'm. Well, I mean, I feel like you're passive aggressive in real life too, like outside of the work. I mean, I know I'm passive aggressive as hell. Zach's kind of passive aggressive. Blake will just yell at you. He'll just be like, fuck you,
I don't like to mess around.
That's
right.
True.
Very straight to the point.
He laughs, but he's actually angry inside. But
no, you're not wrong.
All right, so we're just moving along, trying to keep things going. Oh, okay, this is a good question. If money didn't matter, what job would you do? What would you do for a living? If money didn't matter.
This is assuming we can have any job we want.
Any job you want, literally, whatever it is, you meet qualifications and not trying to spiel into, well, if money didn't matter, then what about the ecosystemic downturn of our GDP and the climate, blah, blah, blah.
By the way, right now is a great time to invest in gold.
Okay, I'll talk about that in a little bit.
Gold floats.
No, because, okay, all right, so, like, I was listening to Joe Rogan. God, love this guy. And so he had this guy, Peter Schiff, I think his name is. Mm-hmm. And so he's like some Jewish firm, whatever, investor guy.
Is that
and
why
so
you were listening? Or?
No, it was just he has a lot of interesting. I resonated with him because he was Jewish, but
Okay.
No, so right, gosh, you're making me lose my track. Anyways, okay, talk about gold real quick. So he was talking essentially that you have stocks and mutual funds and all sorts of ways that you can play within the stock market. And it's if you look at trends, there are predictions that we're going to have another similar 2008 recession, just because of how inflated things are growing. And Trump and Obama have commented on it and everything like that. But apparently now, because while Trump was running for president, he was complaining to Obama, and he was like, "Why are you're inflating our economy? Blah blah blah. It's going to crash." And then now he's taking credit for it. He's like, "Oh, the stock market, the economy is doing better than ever." Anyway, that's everything.
All
but
that aside,
all that aside, gold apparently is, if you look throughout history, it's a stable physical commodity, because when you're buying this gold, you're actually buying a gram or buying an ounce of gold. And they can keep it in a location for you. And so, I think it's at roughly $40 right now. But for example, in the 2008 recession, it blew up in price. And so the idea is the same thing. When the stock market fails and crashes, Mr. Doomsday will take all your money, but he can't take gold because it still has value and stuff like that. So invest in gold. Anyways. Back to what
the fuck were we talking about?
If you could have any job and money wasn't a problem, which job would it be?
I would do acting. I think it'd be amazing. I've always done YouTube and stuff like that in the past. And
what kind of movie would you want to work yourself in?
I feel
question.
Drama, comedic, romantic comedy.
Just give us a quick
summary.
summary.
Be a badass action hero?
No, oh god, no, I couldn't. I think starting out, it'd be easier for me to jump into the rom-com.
All right.
Just because
what character in a rom-com would you be? Like the guy?
I'd be the
that
main
gets
actor.
Girl, or
no,
would you be a quirky best friend?
No.
Blake's asking archetypes like.
No,
characters.
I'd be definitely main character. It'd be about me because I'm self-centered and everything. So it'd definitely be about me, and then from there I'd probably do like the Steve Carell path, where you're in comedies, but then when you do like a serious movie, like it's
Foxcatcher.
Foxcatcher, yeah.
Oh god, I loved in The Big Short.
Nominated.
Yeah, like part with the nose.
So like you have fun with comedy, but then like let's get down to business, and
you can turn on the switch. And
exactly. And everyone would be like, "Whoa, that was amazing! Oh my god,
God.
whoa!
You should wear that nose all the time."
All right, so Blake, what would you do?
Oh man, well, I would love to be a baseball player, assuming that I have the skill set.
You do, yeah.
But having said that, I had a buddy at the last job that I worked at that he actually has his own band, and they're on iTunes right now.
Oh, nice.
And he had his 23rd or 24th birthday. His name is Kyle, out in Louisville.
I worked in Louisville.
Yeah. His band is called Midnight Revival.
Oh, hey,
Quick
we're
plug.
not trying to promote
Quick plug.
anybody. Yo, hold on. That's not what this podcast is about.
Anyway, so he had his 24th birthday, and we rented out this like really shanty bar out in Louisville.
The whole thing out?
Shantytown.
Yeah, it was like $20 to go in, and it was our bar because Kyle had known the guy. Yeah, that's where they practice, in the back room. And so for his birthday, we got the whole thing.
Wow, that's awesome.
And he invited me, and he told me, "Hey, bring your guitar." Mm-hmm. And I said, "Why?" Like, we've jammed out before, and he knows I'm not good at all.
Oh my gosh!
And
so Blake is like really good. So he's being modest. He'll like every single time we hang out, it'll either lead to my guitar or his guitar, and he'll just like.
That's fake news. That's fake news. But anyway, and so he told me to bring my guitar, and reluctantly I did. And so he asked me whenever I got there, "Hey, you're up." I'm like, "What are you talking about?" And I look on the stage, and he's got his whole like stage set up for him and his band, and apparently they were playing for everybody. And everybody would take turns going up and playing an instrument or whatever that they all had.
Wait, so are you going to be a musician or a baseball player?
That's what I'm saying.
Or like, both. Or either
I guess you could do both.
A musical baseball player?
I can see
go up there,
run into first base.
Everybody's playing an instrument. That'd be awesome.
But he asked me, "What songs do you know?" And I said, "Well, what songs do I know and I'm comfortable playing, or like what songs do I know?" But and so I said really easy songs like "I Won't Back Down" by Tom Petty, or "Learning to Fly" by any Tom Petty song is not difficult to play, but it's fun as hell.
Wait, real quick, I forget. It was Tom Petty or who died? I forget.
Tom Petty's fucking alive, dude.
Tom Petty's alive and going.
Dude,
who's the guy with the lightning bolt?
That's David Bowie.
David Bowie.
David
I'm sorry.
Bowie.
I feel like such a piece of crap.
Dude.
It's okay. We've had a lot of celebrities.
Yeah.
There have a
bucket
lot of
recently.
I
I guess yeah.
Yo, Gene Wilder. Just a few days ago was the 1 year anniversary.
It's been a year since Willy Wonka died.
Yep, it's been.
God damn.
It's
Wow.
makes me sad because it was like on Facebook because I posted about it because for out of all the people because 2016 was a really bad year for people dying, but so I posted about it and I got a feed that was like, hey, 1 year ago date you said rest in peace just rest in peace Gene Wilder, and I was like, oh, why?
Oh, that ruined my day. Thanks, Facebook.
Anyway, so you go up. So what song?
Yeah, so I sang a really easy one because I remember seeing Tom Petty live, and he did this awesome set of Learning to Fly where it was just up him with his guitar, and it was just all acoustic cover. But I told Kyle, hey, do you mind if I do Learning to Fly by Tom Petty? And he said, let's fucking do it. And he told everybody in his band, hey, Learning to Fly by Tom Petty. It took him about 10 seconds before all of them were just on track, ready to go.
That's awesome.
And it was really cool.
Yeah.
Assuming that I would be famous and whatnot, I think I would choose a musician over a baseball player, just because musicians kind of have more longevity.
Well, would you be one of those musicians that's like touring all the time, or are you just going to do studio albums?
I would love to tour, and I say that now. I mean, all the musicians that.
Well, I don't know. I know,
see documentaries on say it's exhausting as hell. But
because you're going to like city to city.
You're going from country to country. Like,
if you're going international.
No,
I don't want them damn Europeans listening to my music.
Well, you take what you can get.
That's true. You're right.
A bunch of Frenchies are listening to my music. It's not like I'll complain about it. But I think I would want to be a musician. What genre? I have no idea. Probably either
Latino.
Definitely Latino. I'll give Mark Anthony a run for his money.
I mean, you could do a pretty good Living La Vida Loca.
There's a lot of fusion still left out there. You could do a Living La Vida Loca, but like new metal style.
Yo, I was actually just literally thinking Living La Vida Loca but metal. That would be pretty dope.
All right, I'll get POD on that right away.
All right, Zach, you haven't been talking now that Blake has stopped hogging the fucking microphone.
Long and over-exaggerated story. Continue.
Man, I've got no idea what I would do. I still think I'd like to be within the healthcare industry, like I'm currently doing with my major in college. But
because we had a conversation, we were eating whenever we hung out. What place did we go to? It was off of North Tollway and Legacy. That burger shack, Shake Shack. Yeah, because we were talking about it. It's like, are you doing this because you want to do it, or is it good money, or is it a mix of both? And
it was something that I want to do. But when you bring up the prospect of being able to do anything, it's just hard because at least for me, there's a lot of things I'd like to do. I'd really like to maybe make a game someday, like do some programming, or maybe I'd like
just like with the snap of your finger, you're an instant programmer. Would you want to make a game like that?
The issue is that if you're constraining me to just one thing, then I can't reliably say so, because there's a lot of things I'd want to do. It's a very jack of all trades situation where I'd like to dabble in a lot of different things.
So then,
I don't think I'd be constrained to one thing.
So 90% of your time is going to be dedicated to this one thing, but then you can also have hobbies. So what would be like the one thing that you'd want to do?
It's probably still my healthcare industry.
Healthcare thing? You find passion and joy and everything like that? That's invigorating to you?
I cannot tell if that's a veiled insult.
I mean, it's awesome.
I guess it depends on which field, like within the healthcare industry you're going into.
It is. It's hospital management and stuff. So it's not the scummy billing or insurance, which or like pharmaceuticals.
I mean, it's just because it's like
it's all perception.
It's really. Dr. Kelso shit.
That's true. Yeah, you'd be Bob Kelso
minus the doctor.
Well, that's true. Okay. Well, so you'd be Ted? No, Ted's the legal.
He's the legal consultant. I don't know that there is an anagram or whatever. I don't know that there is an elephant gram to that show with your role in it. Because
I'm pretty sure there's.
Within Scrubs?
Yeah.
No.
Within Scrubs.
They
don't not a hospital manager?
Yeah, they do.
But Scrubs was set in a setting like 1980s, 1990s.
What are you talking about? Scrubs was like through the 2000s.
No, the TV show was on, but where it was the setting of the show
was current time. It was current time.
I don't know, dude.
It was current time.
I think you're watching Twin Peaks. Or
something. I think you're watching. I don't even know what that is, but you're watching other things.
I don't know what that is either.
Twin Peaks is a restaurant. You're watching boobs. Well, so what? You're gonna wake up.
They don't show anything about the business.
No, you're right. They do not.
So you're gonna wake up and be like, "Oh boy, I can't wait to go to my job at the hospital management job." And,
yeah.
Okay. All right, that's dope. I mean, that's awesome. I wouldn't.
It's just hard because I don't really know how to explain it to you because.
Well, you're trying to explain it right now.
Your small mind.
You're small.
No,
my
it's
perception
not,
of reality
it's not that.
sucks.
It's just that it's something so hard to see because when you think of a hospital and when you think of someone like managing, then some of the closest things that people are going to automatically think of will be like, oh, Scrubs, so you'll be like Dr. Kelso, like he was managing the doctors and stuff, but there's so much more than that, you know.
Sure.
They still have CEOs and executive staff and directors of, director of operations, financial accountants, and
sure.
stuff. But it's just hard to visualize that or kind of explain it without prior knowledge. So
you're saying I'm stupid? Is that what you're saying? Saying I'm dumb?
I'm just saying.
No, I'm saying
that. God damn, Blake.
All right. I'm done.
No, you're good. No, it's good. All right, so we're gonna move on and not know what Gabe wants to do. Just kidding. Go ahead, Gabe. So what would you want to do?
Yeah, well, it's kind of awkward because I sort of want to be a mixture of the things I mentioned before, but I'll be specific and sort of.
You want to work at McDonald's?
Yeah, absolutely. I want to work at McDonald's, be a baseball player there. I'll be Ronald McDonald with a baseball bat and a pirate.
Dude, that'd be fun.
But I've always thought about basically three things. Well, three or four. All right, we'll just call it three things. All right.
We'll call it 5 things.
We'll say acting/directing. Okay.
Okay.
So acting/directing.
See, like Zach, why can't you be in imaginative like that? Why do you have to be? I want to do hospital because that's what you're already doing.
Thank you for taking care of people. How about
Yes,
that?
thank you.
Okay,
Zach.
wait a second. All he said he wants to do acting and directing.
Yeah.
That's the same thing that I said because he didn't
What,
explain
you never
anything.
said acting directing.
No, but I said I want to do hospital management. I was just as vague.
Gabe,
as
keep
you.
talking. I'm
I
done
was
talking to
about
Zach.
to go into
I'm
detail.
done talking to Zach. He's annoying me. This is annoying. Go ahead.
All right.
Go ahead.
All right, so acting/directing, I'd like basically more of the act in my own movie type thing.
Yeah.
As for what I would want to do in movies, I've always, there's a couple movies that I've definitely thought of just in my head, like scripts. I've never written anything, although I'd really like to. I really should. I just always get lazy and go and do something else instead.
Do you have any ideas for like scripts?
Sure,
like,
I'll go over a few just like quick.
Go for it.
Ideas.
Let's do it. Let's do a script right now. Just build it out and
Let's get some ideas rolling in, guys.
All right.
Get ourselves a short.
All right, so we're in an office.
Yeah, you know what? Let's kind of bounce it back and forth. You know, someone dictates a setting and then someone else dictates.
Blake, I'm just reminding of
character.
our video that we made with Paul. Sorry,
so there's some background stuff to hear that we don't understand.
Dumb YouTube reference. So real quick, sorry, Gabe. We'll continue with your idea. So pretty much, we made a video about making a video, and so Blake is like this year. He's like, all right, guys, we need an idea for a video, and Cole's like, spoons. Okay, well, what about spoons? What are we gonna do? To dig to the treasure. And what's
in the treasure, Cole?
Spoons.
It went down such a dark.
It was
path.
so good. All right.
How many views? 12.
Oh no, we're like up at the 100 plus.
Are you kidding me?
I'm serious. Yeah, go look it up. Yeah, look
Sounds
it up. Right, Gabe.
positive.
So idea. Let's do it.
Sounds positively David Lynchian. Do something with that. And spoons on spoons on spoons.
Yeah.
While you were talking about that, I was thinking of the ideas that I've just thought of over time. And I guess it's not so much like a specific script now that I think of it, but it's really more of just combining things that I've seen from certain movies, getting the general idea of a movie down.
Okay, real quick correction, guys. 32 views. You know what? It's
views.
Round up
And rising.
And
rising.
And rising.
I think it was on Jake Paul's Happy Hour. But yeah, okay. So the script thing, it's taking a little while to think of, but I definitely know some characters that I would want to be. Just like a quick rundown. I want to be the dude in the prison. Hear me out first of all.
I'm hearing you.
I want to be like the white supremacist in the prison who rapes people.
So like the guy from Sons of Anarchy.
No, well, kind of. But
the
I'm talking
neo-Nazi from Sons of Anarchy. You
want
won't
to
be
like
that guy.
the sisters from Shawshank.
Yeah, the sisters. I'm thinking more Oz. If you've seen Oz, it's a '90s prison show. Very
on
harsh
HBO.
stuff. Yes, it's great. And J.K. Simmons.
J.K. Simmons.
Yes, exactly.
Oh, exactly. Yeah.
So I mean, I want to range from that kind of stuff. Like I want to do like horrible, vile stuff.
Sure.
As well as I don't want to be like the super action hero, but I want to be involved in that for sure.
Well, like, do you want like realistic, super
do you
horrible,
want-
or
Yes,
just
yes.
like okay, so
Tarantino
like this?
or Zack
Oh, yeah.
Snyder? How far
you
down
know
the
what?
scale are we going?
That's actually a good. That leads me now. Now I realize what I really think about. Okay, so all right, really quickly, just to end the acting thing, I would do a lot of like vile stuff, like
yeah.
like whatever, the
Like
white supremacist
Ghostbusters.
thing. Yeah, like Ghostbusters. I'd be Melissa McCarthy.
Jesus. Jesus.
I'd be or the fat one, whichever. That
Wasn't she
That's
the
weird.
marshmallow
Holy
one in
shit.
the original?
What?
yes,
That's what I heard.
as a baby.
What?
Well, all
God,
right,
you
then.
guys, millennials are
motion
so.
capture went a long way.
But I'd also do something as casual as like a Zach Braff type thing. Like I haven't seen
Mhm.
Olive State or what is Olive State? I was thinking of Garden State, and then I thought of Olive Garden, so I thought Olive State. The Olive Garden movie with Zach Braff. Like I always wanted to do something actually.
Well, did you see the new movie?
I did not. I still need to.
Quote unquote new because I mean it came out like in 2 years ago.
We never went and saw it. I don't know if you did, but I never actually saw
My
it.
mom saw it and she loved it.
Is it good?
What's
Yeah.
it? Where of me?
Where? Who am I? Where am I?
It was something.
So where of all of me?
Oh, I forgot.
Blake, look it up on your phone.
It was super ambiguous. Like it was a really whoa title.
Well, no,
Yeah,
it was
that sounds like his style.
Whoa.
Sounds like his style of movie. Like I would range from doing the crazy stuff to that to basically just being like a guy with problems. Like I thought of. So all right, the acting stuff is a little more simple than the directing stuff. Now for the directing stuff, this is where I put a lot more thought into it. Like I listen to a bit of music, and I always like think of scenes to go along with music. So I'd be huge into scoring stuff, especially for horror movies. That's one thing that I would totally direct is horror movies, and it would be slashers.
But you'd never be successful because like all horror movies always bomb. Like
sure thing.
If you want some inspiration,
that's
check
like,
out.
Get Out was like a thriller though, right? It wasn't like I didn't see it.
It was
but
a horror
wasn't-
movie.
I didn't see it either.
It qualifies as a horror movie.
It was it really? Oh,
It
I thought it
does.
was because like a thrill. Because like
I feel like there's a fine line, and
Yeah.
it's just hard to.
because when I think of horror, it's like there's
crossover.
There's a monster trying to eat you. or
No,
something.
fuck monsters. There's crossover. Okay, The Thing is the only good. All right, fine. There's a couple good monster horror movies, but The Thing and The Fly are two of them. I would do a slasher. I don't go for that horror stuff, but the thing about horror movies is that they always lack some sort of a justification to get to the cell phone, to call the police, to do
Right.
whatever. My horror movie would solve that because this would be a slasher who goes after some sort of group of criminals. So they're in the middle of doing something, they can't call the cops, and so at first they don't take it seriously. Like maybe, all right, like
So
just
like
a
an
ref
anti-hero.
sketch. Kind of. Although, like this person is not supposed to be sympathetic. Like
Like
Sure.
the Red Hood, but with
Kind of,
more
but-
blood.
Yo, hey,
Like,
let's leave the DC references out, please.
we'll talk
Thank you.
about that later. But no, there would be like
Jesus.
innocents being murdered
Sorry.
before that. Like this isn't someone you're supposed to sympathize with. It's really more of a justification. It's just a gore fest. But basically, like just a rough idea is like a group of mafia people basically doing something in a warehouse. And so they try to snuff him out at first, and they don't call the cops. But as time goes on and on, they get more and more desperate. So basically, just looking to fill in all the plot holes to justify
Sure.
that stuff. All right, so that's just a quick thing on the acting and directing. I would also want to be, a musician, which
Of course.
musician style I used
He's
to
a really
do.
good guitar player.
Used to be. I haven't touched it.
He's
in
way
so
better
long.
than you, Blake.
I'm sure.
Yeah, I'll play.
Doesn't take much.
Anyways,
Is
here's
it-
Wonderwall.
Anyway, I was gonna say that earlier. Yeah, as for musician, I actually thought about doing guitar stuff a while ago, and I just never got to it. I guess I decided to do something more realistic. All right, if I could be whatever I wanted to be, I only just started listening to Jamiroquai, but I would be JK from Jamiroquai. I don't know if you know what that band is, but it's an English acid funk band, you might call them. They did the song in Napoleon Dynamite where he's dancing.
Oh, it's that one?
Yeah, it's Dance. You know that song? If you look
Moving like
up,
a man.
yeah. No.
Did we want an update on Zach Braff's movie?
Yeah, do it.
2014, Wish I Was Here.
Wish I Was Here.
And then in 2014, or
Garden State,
2004
Olive
Garden
State.
And then
Right.
2017 was Going in Style.
Wait, there's a new movie?
Well, no, it was a bomb. It was
Oh.
Morgan Freeman,
Morgan Freeman, Michael
Alan
Caine.
Arkin, and Michael Caine. Yeah, but it's like
these are like the guys
No.
from Las Vegas.
Whoa, was it made by Zach Braff? Or like
Directed, co-written,
I don't know.
If he
yeah,
fucked
director was Zach Braff.
Wow.
If
And
that
it
movie's a
bombed?
bomb, then he's
Well,
a shit
no,
director.
I mean, budget was 25 mil, box office 84.6. It's
Oh,
kind of
that's
a
success.
okay.
it's a PG-13 movie about these three old dudes that lost Medicare or whatever, and they're going to
Oh.
banks to steal money.
Oh, and there's that
That's
one
really-
scene where Morgan Freeman's trying to sneak out
Yeah,
of
yeah.
the window.
Don't spoil it.
Yeah, that one.
Well, it's in the
That
commercials.
looked really good.
I don't watch
just
commercials.
don't go out and see
Did you guys see
movies.
Las Vegas? Do you guys know the movie I'm talking about?
with
Morgan Freeman, Michael Caine.
No, I did not
I
see
think,
that.
I forget. There's, but essentially,
with Michael Douglas was also in
I
it.
believe so. Yeah, and did they all go? They're like, we're old. Let's have a
get
party.
fucked up.
Yeah, exactly. So I don't know. I feel like having a bunch of old actors like that just instead of them being in a serious role where it's like we're serious, it's just they're old because they're what, like 70, something like that, 60,
I don't
70.
know. Yeah, Morgan has been in.
They're
All four of them are
they're old as hell.
landmarks. By the way, if you want some inspiration on script writing, look up Tarantino. How he writes scripts.
Who's Tarantino?
I don't know if you've ever he's done interviews where
Bobby
Tarantino
talks about how he writes stuff.
Yeah,
sure.
yeah. Have you seen any of those?
I have not. I'm actually
he
not
starts basically. He starts with the characters first. He doesn't start with the plot.
Okay,
So like in *Inglourious Bastards*, he started with Aldo Rain and with Lieutenant Hans Landa, and he started with that, and he said, "What would these characters do if I put them in this situation? What would they do?" And
the
that's
situation
how
develops out of them.
And then he just keeps on writing, and that's how he gets his movies.
But as for Jamiroquai, this is basically like an English dude who dances like crazy. Like, I gotta be fucking serious. I would dance like JK. If you look up Jamiroquai, I would dance like that guy and sing like that guy if I could be a musician. But final one is, okay, this is the biggest
God, Lee, how many...
Well, you fucking keep interrupting me. That's a problem. So I have more to think of by the time you're finished flapping your big-ass mouth. So.
Yeah.
The last and bigger thing is video games. I would totally make video games, and like my ideal game is there's a couple actually, and I'll go over each of them in high detail.
Go ahead. I'd love to.
Okay, so all right, top idea. I'll just go with top idea first of all. Is a stealth game that basically covers the entire spectrum. No, now
Rainbow Siege.
I love Rainbow Siege. That's going to come up later on for fucking sure.
How many things are going to come up later on that we've already said?
We won't know if you fucking fill the whole podcast with your
Morgan
voice.
Freeman's age.
Yes, exactly. But, okay, so this is a stealth game that covers all the bases. Something that's actually a problem in stealth games is that there's no variety to guard behavior. You know walk patterns, you know animations, you know all of that stuff. My idea is basically implementing a card system or a trait system where each guard, and I'm not sure, I haven't done any game programming, so I don't know how intensive this is, but it seems like it could be done. You basically have 3 tiers of qualities, okay? You have bad qualities, neutral qualities, and good qualities, okay? So you do a pick however many, let's just say a pick 5 system on each guard, and in the beginning these guards are bad, okay? So like let's say you start out in some sort of a junkie hideout and you're supposed to get somewhere, do something, whatever, okay? These guys would have maybe 1 neutral quality and 4 bad qualities, and I'm really laying this out for you, Vol, because I can tell he's dying for information.
I am.
But these traits, bad qualities, for example, are unpopular. So when a guard is unpopular,
I'm just gonna
people will stay.
Ask for help and
yes,
exactly. Say, fuck you.
Yes, exactly.
Okay.
When a guard is unpopular, people tend to stay away from him. The rotations stray further away, and they
you're talking about like advanced AI.
Yeah, so that's the thing. This is the thing where like I'm not sure how much.
I think that's limitations on game engines right now.
Well, no. So would you give you would walk up within distance of a guard and you would lay out you would send a system to that guard where that makes him unpopular?
No. He's saying like just within the engine. Yeah, like
okay.
So
you
have
random
10
within.
Yes,
you have 10
random but guided. So for example, let's say just the starting level. Those are all going to be mostly bad guards. They have 4 bad traits, 1 neutral trait, okay? So, like, you actually kind of guessed the unpopular trait. That's basically where guards will rotate further away from this guy. They won't listen to him once. The second time, they'll listen to him more often, okay? Right. Another bad trait is, cowardice. Cowardice is, that's pretty obvious, okay? Cowardice is where instead of being really clear and communicative, and this could actually be combined with something else, but instead of being really clear and communicative, really sure about what they want to do, they instead run away. That gives you a little bit more time to do what you want to do, so they won't call for help, okay? Let's do a third one.
Dishonesty, like the boy who cried wolf kind of thing?
Yeah, that's...
Can there be a guard that runs around naked?
Oh, yeah, totally. That's a trait I'm working on right now.
That seems kind of neutral, though.
Yeah, that is, I'd say a good quality, actually, but another bad quality, for example, would be, motor mouth. Motor mouth, so this is a little close to, like you. This is a little close to unpopular, but basically the idea about motor mouth is that, so this leads into something else. Motor mouth is a bad quality because they talk too much, and this is totally evil, One thing about my stealth character is that he can listen to...
Gabe, I don't want to hear about your game anymore. I'm so sorry.
Everyone else got the chance, so you're giving me my
chance. What are you talking about? You talked longer than everybody.
You've interrupted and changed the subject like 3 times. I have ideas for like 2 or 3 more games, but I'm only going to do one just for you.
Finish up the game.
So you fucking let me talk for as long as I want.
Finish up the game.
If you don't speak at all, I will try to make this better for you. Don't speak.
Oh, I'm getting punished here.
Alright, fine, then I'll make it as long and detailed as possible.
Go ahead.
But
I'm
okay,
just
another
gonna cut
bad trait.
all of this.
My character in the stealth game would actually be able to listen to guards.
Note to self: make sure to cut all of this.
Would be able to listen to guards, and depending on how long that the character listens to the guards for, they'll be able to imitate speech patterns.
Oh, that'd be cool.
So motor mouth means that basically it takes a very short amount of time to learn speech patterns, so that you can kill the guard, take the walkie-talkie, immediately talk back into it. Now let's just
how much
move
technology
on.
is this like super spy stuff, or is it like set in the 40s?
Oh, okay. So setting is going to be like early 2000s, 90s. Nothing too crazy, honestly.
So they're not gonna like have
no
high-tech voice impersonator.
No.
Invisibility.
It's just a super sly guy he has no personality. James Bond.
No,
he has no personality.
Like
blank slate. Yeah, absolutely.
Why would he? Well, how would I relate to the character if he has no?
It's
personality?
not about relating to the character.
Well, why would?
Objective,
But why would I want to play the game if this character is just a blank face that I'm like seriously?
A story could come into this later on, but what I'm focusing on is
so you just want to build a game. You don't care about
missing. Gameplay is missing really in a lot of the story-driven. Stealth games. Like even the best stealth games out there, you'll notice that every guard has the same pattern, the same type stuff.
Well, but that's the mechanic, and you have to learn it and then work around it, and then
you learn a pattern once. It gets easy.
Not if you're playing on hard mode.
I played Chaos. Splinter Cell Chaos Theory is okay. That's a holy grail of stealth game. Okay, everyone fucking loves that game if you're a stealth gamer. I played that game like 4 times. Okay. And I can do hardest difficulty if I want to. I can kill all the guards or put them to sleep. To make that game actually hard, I try to go by them unspotted.
He's not bragging.
And even then, I have to just like wait on patterns. All of this is timing. All of this is waiting. So if you let me wrap this up, I will wrap this up. Okay. So those are some of the bad qualities. Okay. Some good qualities, like an example for Motormouth, would be just I don't know what you'd call it, but being much more concise. Guards could actually do hand signals. They'd talk once or twice, very short amount of time.
That seems really intricate for a game engine, though.
Listen, AI and game engine can be like, it really depends on where the resources are being used. And like I said, I haven't done game programming yet. This is just a concept. And if you let me finish, I'm going to give you the other couple of traits. And then we can wrap this up and move on to the next thing.
Go ahead.
Okay, so basically, yes, you have that. And then you have 2 other good traits. Just as an example, another good trait would basically be... What is it?
You don't have it already ready?
You fucking keep tripping me up. I know it's the Yuval happy hour, but this is my turn.
This is the Yuval happy hour.
The more you talk, the more you trip me up, and the more I keep forgetting all my shit.
Sorry. Yes, sir.
Exactly. All right, so my idea for a video game would be a stealth game where you actually have a pick 5 system.
Go first. No, all right. I'm sorry.
2 good traits, okay? 2 good traits.
Last 2 traits. Come on, Gabe.
Yeah, just let me get them clear in my head, all right? So, like I said, not motor mouth, all right? That's 1. Another good trait would be, let's see here. Make me feel like an old man. What is it? Shut the fuck up.
Come on.
God damn it. I have so many.
We can't just sit here and wait for you to think of it.
The more you talk, the more I can't think.
Well, we can't have dead air. That's the number 1 rule about podcasts.
Dead air.
Dead air.
I heard that.
All right. Jesus. Come on.
All right, 1 good trait. Okay, but let me think about it, and I'll give you 1 last one. Okay.
All right. Let's move. Do you want to move on and then come back to it?
If you make me come back to it, I'll go longer.
Oh my gosh.
Seriously. Just give me
All right. Well, you got 10 seconds.
Let him
give me 20 seconds. Give me 20 seconds.
20 seconds, deal. We'll talk about other stuff.
20 seconds. Let me figure it out.
Zach, you've been really quiet.
It's okay. I'm just along for the ride.
Well, you're not going to be on next week's podcast if you're just quiet.
Well, it's...
Boom! Boom!
Wow! I've known this boy since middle school.
That's
you
true.
Can start your own podcast.
I can't believe... Yeah, you know what? I'll just go start my own podcast. I got a Blue Yeti microphone too.
That's true. You're right. You could.
I'll directly compete with yours. Nobody else's.
Yeah, I'll be on there. Oh, by the way, if you're listening to Yuval's podcast, fuck off.
You can go ahead and take that shit out of here. I'll tell you what. Oh, man.
How we doing, Gabe?
All right, the last good trait is that this guard would not be anything like Yuval, because that's the best trait.
Boom, there it is.
Let's move on.
And let's close it.
That'd be really confusing for someone that's
not
familiar with Yuval's antics.
some guy in Europe is playing
kid
it.
is playing.
Who is Yuval?
Who is Yuval? Why we not talk about Dota?
German people would only like it if it's a simulator.
So, whoa, all right, we're gonna just move
Next
past that
topic,
point.
Master of Topics. Since you already seem so fucking eager to move on.
I'm really eager.
Then do it. What's the next
all
topic?
So, Blake and I, we've talked about this before at our long conversations with Jason's Deli, but I'm curious to know what Zach's is, not Gabe's, because he's gonna go on a rant.
We'll go the other way. Now it's Zach, and then Blake, and then me again.
No, we'll go. We can start you off, Gabe. It's all good. Do you want to start off?
On what?
Think back to the middle school / the start of high school.
All right, skinny
era.
jeans. Okay, go on.
Well, I mean, you're still wearing skinny jeans.
These aren't skinny jeans. These are slacks. Move on.
Okay, all right. Oh, okay. We'll move on.
Yeah. Next subject.
He was assertive about that. He was just like, you know what? We're not even talking about this.
We're
one.
not.
So-
You're gonna. This is not a battle.
Next up,
not
it's
today.
jeans.
So, your top 5 value, your values in life. So, for example, family, personal wealth, personal health,
yeah.
well-being, relationships.
This is pretty existential for something you've always leading.
Exactly right.
No,
Right now versus let's just say freshman year of high school. So now versus freshman year of high school, what were they? How have they changed? Kind of. As your person, as you've grown, how does that vary? So, do you want a second to think about it?
I'll give him a couple of seconds.
All right, that's fine. So I'll go with
you
me.
go ahead, yeah.
So, and this is probably going to be different from when I was talking with Blake. But for example, in high school, it was definitely family. Let's see, let's go 5. So 1 would be family. 2, myself. 3, more branching off like my health and well-being. And then close friends,
So
and then
me
work.
being your overall happiness.
Yeah, my overall happiness. We'll break it up. So we'll say family, my happiness, my health, friends, and then work. Work being specifically last. I don't think nowadays. I think it's relatively the same. I still. Because I've explained to Blake, my mom has instilled this in me since I was in her belly, and it's like. Look, if you're not happy,
not the belly.
Do what?
Not the belly.
Not the belly. Where
Yes.
are babies?
Man, my whole world was just shattered. Where do babies come from?
Yeah. But at a very early age, if you're not happy and if you're not healthy and if you're not doing something, you are number one. And it is selfish. It's a very self-fulfilling idea. But what kind of life are you going to live if you're out to serve other people? If you're putting your work ahead of you, well. If you're not happy at your work, then just quit your job. But obviously, people have different varies on that. So, do you guys have any ideas? Or
I can go.
Go ahead,
Blake.
I remember us talking about this, and we did not agree at all on this.
Yep.
I grew up in a household where dad and mom both worked.
Same here.
Well, I know. Well,
kind of.
It leads into my value thing. Or my value order. Mine always started with family. We kind of have a bigger family. We're really close together. And so family was number 1. I would put... I put my health probably 3 or 4. And my happiness around 3 or 4. And then I would put work at 2 or 3. I think I don't have a problem with working hard and providing for a wife and kids. I think that makes people happy. When your wife and your kids are happy, you, as a man, I would feel completely okay with sacrificing my day or whatever to make sure that when I get home and I see how happy they are, that would make me feel happy. Just in general.
But how long would that, if you're busting your ass and if you're, working 50 hours a week.
Again, I'm Irish. I can do that for the rest of my life and then die.
So realistically, Blake, you can tell me right now that...
Realistically, yeah. Because I've seen my dad do it. I've seen my granddad do it. It's not something that...
Well, like with your dad, I think he's built himself to a position where he doesn't... Yes, he can, or yes, he does put in the time and all the energy and the work and everything like that. But I think he's put himself in a position where if he didn't want to do that, he didn't have to. What are you talking about? He built, starting from nothing, building up, and going into all of this management and everything like that. I think if he wanted to, he could work less. I think that's what I'm trying to get at. Is
not when you're trying to be the best at what you do. You don't. I think my dad found a great middle ground in terms of working his ass off and being able to come home. And it took me a while to realize this. Just now that I'm an adult, I can kind of look back and say, you know, my dad did a pretty good, damn good job. Letting go from after he was done working, he would come home and he would be the best dad that he could be. And he didn't have a problem with that. The dude was miserable for years to make sure that my mom, my sister, my little brother, and I, and all of us had a roof over our heads. And
you see, I think I'd have to find a different alternative or something like that. Like, I would obviously still want to, if I find myself in a situation where I have to support my family and everything like that, you know, I'm all for it, but I'm not going to be miserable doing it.
Well, I don't know. I think at work, your happiness at work has very little to do with the work itself. I think it's your attitude. And if you go in with a attitude that says, man, I know I'm miserable, but I know I have a family to take care of, then you're gonna go through life and you're gonna be miserable as hell while you're working. But if you go in with an attitude saying, you know, this is another day to get better as a man, this is another day to make other people better at what they do. Well, just because you don't like what you do doesn't mean that you still can't grow as a man. And
well, can't you do that outside the job? Like, because for me, a job is just a job. Like what I'm doing right now.
Well, that's where we probably disagree, because I don't think a job is just a job.
Well, but you can grow outside of it. You know, the fact that I want to do comedy and podcasts and blah blah blah.
I'm talking more in terms of your disciplinary action of providing for a family and making sure that they're okay.
Well, but I'm saying, like, within the job, you know, okay, so then let me ask you, so if you had job number one paid enough money to make your family happy and just get by, just get by.
Just get by, okay.
Job number two offered you more money, I'm sorry. Job number two, same amount of money, but you get more satisfaction, more happiness out of it.
Okay.
But you're not going to get a raise, or you're not going to make more money. So job number one, you have a choice of, if you put 5 years into it, you could make, you know, not necessarily double, but like you can make more money, and then you can give your family more options and more expenses that, you know, would make them more happy. So, sure. but you hate that job. Mm-hmm. So would you stick with the job so that your family would get this more money, or, you know, make the job, you can still support your family, but you're going to be happier in your job?
I don't know if that scenario is as cut and dry as you made it seem. It depends on the job. I mean, if the job was being like an insurance auditor or a social worker, and I had to go through hell, or, you know, let's even more so, let's go a police officer. And every day I would walk out the door not wondering if I was going to come back home again.
Sure.
Then that's a different story, rather than what I'm doing, which is a trade. I don't mind.
Well, so within your trade, let's say you work here, and in 5 years you can make a lot more money. Mm-hmm. There's another trade, another similar company that does the same, you know,
but I would go home happy.
You'd go home happy, yeah.
You know, I think money in the long term would be able to make me provide for my family.
What a sucker!
I'm sticking to my guns on that one.
No, well, I feel like these scenarios are just a little bit too. Like, these scenarios aren't realistic. It's easy.
Not, if you're successful in your company, but, you know, you get, if you're good at what you do, you'll get other job offers. You'll get, you know, people will headhunt you and they'll say, "Oh, we'll give you, you know, a little more money and you'll be happier."
You're providing like a question that's really just a lead on, where here's two jobs, both are around the same pay, but one's going to make you more money over the time. One's not as much, but it'll make you happier. I mean, most people will probably choose the one that make you happier, because you're using a question that's leading on. And so when people, you know, Blake could be just sticking to his guns here. Whereas,
well, but that's to emphasize his top five. You know, his family.
I'm feeling like these questions are just a little bit too much of a lead on to be realistic, or something.
Let's break it down then. How does a person become happy? Is it by being, you know, don't take this the wrong way, I'm kind of a negative connotation on the word, but being selfish and worrying about yourself and your own personal happiness, or do people become more happy when they have a lot of kids to take care of, or they have a wife and a job that they go to, and they have to really work really hard to take care of their kids. I think studies have shown, and I'll look some up real quick so you don't think I'm BSing, but I think studies have shown that people with bigger families tend to be happier, and especially dads.
I don't know about bigger families.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, because bigger families tend to be more religious. Think about how many families have like 9 or 10 kids. There, you think of the very first things. You're the Catholic, Mormon, or evangelical. You don't think. What's your take on that?
I think
I feel like we're wandering into a realm that's just our own personal biases on how we feel about things, and it's hard to say.
Not even that.
But we can bring it in. I'm not gonna have a crap ton of kids. I used to think
Octomom is super happy.
I do it.
Octomom.
Octomom is not.
Isn't she shipping now?
She took drugs to induce fertility.
She took baby capsules.
Yeah, I don't know what that is, but sure.
You take the pill and you have a baby.
Oh, really? That's it? No sex?
It's the opposite of Plan B.
Oh.
Anyway, I think Zach was saying something.
Well, so
Or not.
blah blah. I forget what you were specifically saying.
At one point we were talking about work, and then it sort of
the religious family. So okay,
Nah.
I'm not. Well, you don't have to talk. I'm just gonna say I'm not gonna have a large family because I think wrestling with kids and having to do school and education and blah blah blah. I think that'll make you less happy. I think
I'm not sure about for me. I don't think I want to. I'm very focused with my career, so
sure.
I don't even consider romance or having kids or anything. To me, that just seems like a.
But what if there's a hot lady in your office and she's like, "Oh, Zach, those reports on the hospital bill is so good." No, I'm serious. If God just says, "Hey, Zach, here you go. Here's a lady," are you going to purposely ignore her, or are you going to?
Well, if it's a coworker, then probably yeah, because there's all sorts of issues.
All right, so you had a stressful day at work, and you walk into a place, and there's a lady, and she's like,
going into hypotheticals when we haven't even finished discussing
hypotheticals on what you would do, because. Again, values. Because if you're saying
we haven't even gone over my values, so what's these questions?
Well, I already know what your values are based on your responses. But go ahead.
Might I interject real quick?
God, what do you want?
New study from an Australian university.
They're lying.
Australian university was
conducted by
Dr. Bronwyn Harmon.
Okay, go ahead. What is Cohen. Bottom line?
Spent 5 years studying what types of families are most content, interviewing hundreds of parents. And this was her quote: "The parents usually say they always wanted a large family. It was planned that way, and it was a lifestyle they'd chosen. Though larger families are more chaotic and expensive than smaller ones, her research shows that those issues are balanced by the amount of joy received from having more children." So
I think
I'm never having kids.
You want to hear? We'll get to that in a second, Gabe. I am super curious why, but hold up real quick. Sorry, I know I've totally been hogging, but I think when you say we're more happier with kids, because think about post-birth
depression.
Postmortem is not
postpartum.
Postpartum depression. You're gonna have to live through that with all of these children. Plus, you get over it, you get past it, and then you have the kids and they're successful. I don't think you have time to analyze whether or not you're truly happy, because you're literally, if you have 5 kids or 6 kids, you're 24/7 on the clock, mom or dad. You don't have any time for yourself. So when you say, "Oh, are you happy?" Yeah, sure, I'm happy. Blah blah blah. I think.
No, I think when you have something to fill a void, you become more happier.
Yeah, but why have that void in the first place?
That's part of what we go into with work, because different people have different expectations of work. Yuval says his work is just a job. It's just a 9-to-5 thing.
Yeah.
I'm guessing what I got from that is you don't really care about it.
I care about it.
Well, right, but it's not something that you actively put as a part of your life. Whereas for me, especially within the healthcare industry, for me, I can see opportunities to grow within my work and to make differences, to be impactful, and that doesn't exist in all kinds of jobs. It just depends on what kind of job you have, what industry you're in, how does your leadership function.
Real
so
quick,
some people get beat down, and
we're pushing almost to an hour. We're about 54 minutes right now. So are we cool to keep talking, or?
Hell yeah.
Gabe,
let's do an hour 30 or something. I don't know.
It's all on you. Literally, I've got work in the morning and that's it. But it's only 8:15, 8:16. Wait, we can't tell them what time because it breaks the illusion.
It's
8:15 over in Alaska.
There you go. Thank you, Gabe. All right. Well, Zach, what's your list? What's your top 5? You've had all this time to think, and you're calling me out.
Do we even know what I think we named family,
health, happiness,
Are we
family.
constricted to
junk.
these?
What's that?
No,
is?
whatever you value. So if it's if Uncle Joe down the street is what you value, then that's.
Well, to be honest,
That's
I
value,
can't even with all this time, because we're thinking about other things as we're talking. I don't really have like 5 values that I could.
Well, okay,
easily think.
not 5, but like what if someone said gun to your head? What do you value? Go ahead.
Not having a gun to your head, I don't.
Gun to your head.
I don't. Well, that's under duress, so
Yes.
I don't think
Fine.
that's. Once again, we're with questions that don't.
Yeah,
make
Gabe-
sense.
Gabe is unzipping his pants, and if you don't tell you the values, his pants are off.
I highly value that.
Yeah. Yeah, Zach's
gonna
about
say
to
I-
as well.
All right, well, but come on, like
I don't know, man. I
nebulous.
value. I guess I value my work.
Okay.
I value.
so you'd say so like if you had
my
a decision.
family and friends.
So okay, let's break this
He's
down.
never gonna learn what his 5 values.
No, I want to learn. Here we go. I'm gonna try
Apparently
to.
you don't. Apparently
Okay,
you
so
don't.
you have the possibility of getting a
It's gonna take
promotion.
months.
Okay,
Yeah.
at the same time, your family has a funeral. You gonna
Oh
go
my
for the
God.
promotion or funeral? Yeah,
Ooh, that's a good one.
that's
Promotions or a funeral.
Yeah. I like
yeah.
that.
If
Oh wait,
you had
say it again.
your boss is like, hey, if you stay here till midnight,
I
you get a
promise you'll
promotion.
get that promotion.
You're gonna get a promotion. You're gonna get more money. You're gonna
But
get
you
climb, be more successful.
Once again,
but there's
see,
a family funeral.
Just go with
I
the
can
hypothetical.
understand why you're asking these questions, but they're just not realistic.
Yeah, just
If
go with the hypothetical.
Well, it's- but it's-
Hypotheticals aren't realistic.
I'm just trying to narrow
It's-
down because you
I
say
understand, but the issue is that with these questions, you're forcing me to make a decision,
right.
which gives off a characteristic that I may not really.
It's a loaded
have.
question.
It's a loaded question.
Well, I'm
It's
not.
a loaded question
but-
because no matter what I choose, there's something.
But I'm not gonna. But
You've been
I
exposed,
understand
Zach,
your
you heartless
hesitation.
fuck.
I understand.
because like I'm
But I'm not
thinking-
saying what Gabe is saying. I'm not going to say, oh, I can't believe you wouldn't go for your family. I'm
No,
just
I
boiling
know.
it down.
It's a slightly
I know.
loaded question.
I know,
Can I
but it's
take the option
e-
of Gabe taking off his pants?
Yes.
Even if
I'll
you're
still
not
take that.
judging someone based on what you're doing, it's still loaded because in my mind I'm thinking, well, I've never had a boss that would be like that. That's gonna like what kind of boss is gonna
All right,
be
so
like?
then, okay,
I'm
so-
gonna give you a
so then let me-
promotion
let
or,
me-
you
let me
know,
trade-
these kind of questions. They don't
Okay,
make
so
sense.
then
Gabe
living
also
a living a
McDonald's.
lifestyle
Yes.
living a lifestyle where you work longer hours, you're going to see your family less, or cutting back to spend more time with your family. Is that a better question? Is that a more realistic
That's
question
a more
for you?
realistic.
Okay,
question.
so would you,
I probably would be working more
Well,
hours.
okay,
you know,
all right.
I can expect with
you
me
heartless
to have-
bastard?
No,
Zach is a heartless
to
fuck.
have I would expect a 50 to 60 hour work week at least with the career
Damn.
that I
Okay,
want to
God,
I'd
damn.
never want to.
But I
working
also
50 to 60
but I
hours.
also
That's
don't
normal
have
nowadays.
for me personally, I don't have a very big family. I have a few close friends, and then I have my mom and dad and 2 sets of grandparents and 2 brothers.
You're lucky. I
very
don't have grandparents.
it's-
Well, I do in Israel, but
you know,
Same.
but it's
I have
it's,
a
it's
grandma
very
in
it's
Israel.
very small. And then when you add on to me not caring about not relationships but romance and whatever. You
well,
know,
so are you going
there's
to
a
put
lot
your work in
time
front of
for me.
romance?
Huh?
Are you gonna, if you're working 50 to 60 hours, are you going to try and find
I
time for
think that
romance?
depends
He's
on where you guys
career-focused.
are in the relationship.
I've already decided that
He's
you know,
career
Oh,
focused.
so
I'm
so
career focused.
okay.
So it's
All right,
not-
so
it's not
career
like-
is number one. Work in
Currently-
personal
currently,
gains.
It's not always number one though.
It
because
varies, sure.
It varies.
Would you say that's the same?
There are no absolutes.
So would you say 50-50?
50-50?
These terms
I
are
can't
also
even-
nebulous.
They're nebulous. I
All right,
can't
well,
answer.
so,
try and
okay,
do it.
well
I
then
can't-
answer. Same. Have you had the same values at the start of high school, or
Hell
do you
no.
think?
No.
So in
it's-
high
it's
school,
definitely
how was it in
different.
high school?
Jerking off.
In high school,
There's your romance.
in high school, that was still part of my life where you don't really know what you're doing. You kind of just going through high school. You don't know what to expect. I hadn't hit my college where everything, something like a switch flips and you're just like, wait a second, life's getting real.
Sure.
So I couldn't even tell you what my values were back then because whatever they were, they're meaningless now. They don't mean anything.
You know that
Jerking
they've
off is
changed
still
at least
pretty,
somewhat.
Interesting.
I don't know.
No,
what's
that's an
there.
interesting point. Though.
Definitely
Like
like
draw,
I just-
drawing a face
I
on your
think
hand.
it's-
I guess I don't linger on the past.
Well, no, I'm not saying lingering on the past, but my dad told me that you're always going to be a different person. 5 years from now, 10 years from now, 20 years from now, you're going to look back and you say, "Wow, I don't know why I acted that way. I don't know why I chose to do those things," because you're going to be a different person. So it's just, I think it's curious. Or I'm curious. I don't think it's curious. I'm curious that growing up, again, trying to wrap it back to as our young millennial minds. How much have we really changed? Are we still, the bratty, shitty kids that we were in middle school and high school? Maybe to a certain extent, but how much have we really changed? And sort of quote unquote adultified ourselves, and so how does that affect our values, and how does that affect our perception of reality? So I think it is important. So because someone like he who shall not be named is
Voldemort?
No, but person insert name here. If you look and take snapshots of his life from middle school, from high school to early college to graduation, if it's the exact same, well, that's a horrible thing. I would hate for someone to be the exact same person and not change and not grow. I mean, if that's what they're comfortable with, then that's a separate conversation. But I think as young people growing up in this 21st century, it's important to change. It's important to grow and understand where we're coming from.
Gabe, values, dude. What you got?
I'll just make it short and sweet. They're basically the same as Yuval's values, except I'm not having kids. That's all.
Why don't you want kids? Let's talk about it. Why the heck do you not want kids?
Because I'm, first of all, career / self-pleasure focused.
Mm-hmm.
Boy, that came out wrong.
No, you're good.
I'm career /
I'm with you.
Yeah,
we're here.
You get me.
I'm
career / entertaining myself.
Yeah, but I mean, like,
I'm still with you.
Are you going to try and find a lovely lady?
Not for marriage.
Oh, okay. So you're going to just date and stuff like that?
And die alone, probably.
Oh, well, you wouldn't die alone. I'd be there by your side. I'd be like, Gaby boy.
When the car hits me.
Yeah, I'll be there.
Jesus.
I'll be the one in the car that hits you.
Yeah, I was about to say, you've also gonna step out of the car and be like, ooh, yikes, and
my
then just start
Ooh.
backing up.
Slip him
I'm
slip
gonna
him to 20.
go.
And
You should have changed your
dead
top
body.
5, you fucker. Back off through all these years.
All right, well,
Short and sweet, yeah. Like,
I like it.
no kids. I thought.
has that been the same? Like, in
Yeah,
high
I
school?
was about to say, if you're asking me about what I thought in high school, what I thought now, I never wanted kids, and I never will. Never.
I don't know. I'm curious to if we're still friends in 20 years or whatever, to see how that would change. Because I know this is kind of an argument that a lot of people use, where it's like, oh, you're still young. In 20 years you'll change your mind, blah blah blah.
Says, yeah.
But then it's like, well, fuck you. Like, how do you know what I'm going to change and be into, and stuff like that. But I think
that's more of a generality that the argument that is. I don't think they're attacking your character.
No, not necessarily that.
Most
but it's
people
like,
have kids, and so they're under the assumption that generally.
But even then,
I think kids.
I think at one point in your life, whether or not you're going to stick with it, you're going to want to, because I think it's human nature to say, I want to continue my name. I want to continue my family. I want to, I want an extension of myself, which I think if we want to really deeply analyze it, which we won't, I think it's a little bit selfish to have kids. Is it's an extension of, because kids are a reflection of yourself. So if you have a shitty kid, well, man, you must be a shitty person if your kid is shitty. I think I see crappy kids all the time. If I'm walking down a mall or something like that,
I see so many crappy kids in my work.
I could imagine. And so, do you think to those parents, man, what are they doing wrong?
And shit parents.
I bet every single person in all of history has probably said the same thing about kids. There was this one Plato or Socrates quote, I forgot who it was, but it was basically this big long paragraph about how kids during his time were spoiled rotten, and they were unruly, and they weren't they didn't have manners or whatever. I'll have to find the quote, but my granddad had it up on his fridge when I went to go visit him, and it got me thinking, if these guys back in those days were saying that, I think it's a cycle. That's just how people perceive kids. I don't think anything has changed that much to where we look at kids and we go, what a piece of shit,
Well, I think the argument, or not an argument necessarily, but the perception is that, like, you have the the baby boomers coming back from World War II. Mm-hmm. You have a different situation in terms
Cotton
of
Hill.
Do what?
Cotton Hill.
What's Cotton Hill?
Cotton Hill.
Cotton Hill. Oh
Cotton
yeah.
Hill.
I kill Freddy Man.
I kill Freddy Man.
I kill fucking Freddy Man. All right.
But yes, baby boomers.
But yeah, the baby boomers, I think growing up, you have a different parenting style, and so the kids, because a lot of those young kids, they may have lived through the Great Depression, and
so the attitude with parents was, I'm going to try to give my kid everything and anything that kid wants, because they grew up with nothing.
I think
generally that
perception.
Was the attitude with baby boomers.
I think with baby boomers, those kids, because the parents who've lived through that, I think were more strict, and they say, okay, well, it was taken from us. Well, it could be taken from us again. So let's have a more realistic view on life and be more strict, more rules, and everything like that. And then the Gen Xers, those are when the baby boomers grew up and had the Gen Xers, those are the my parents were super strict, but the United States is changing, whatever. I'm going to try and give you more. And then the Gen Xers, again, of course, I'm going to give the millennials even more because, with all this new technology and all this new stuff. And I think that's the idea where...
kind of started with the self-esteem movement, if anything.
When was the self-esteem movement? What was that?
In the 60s or 70s, when every child is special and every child deserves...
I thought that was like a Bush thing. No child left behind.
That's
no
education.
Educational.
Well, I mean, it's still the same concept where...
No.
I think it... Because, I mean, you're saying that this child can't be left behind because he's special or because everyone...
No, it's the idea that we're trying to give each child an education that this country can provide.
Yeah, but what if the child doesn't need an education?
Well, then fucking drop out. I don't care.
Well, but you can't because no child left behind.
No, they're not left behind. They're going. They're like we don't leave them behind. If they take themselves out, that's not leaving them behind.
Yeah. The point is, if you stay in school, a teacher or the school district isn't going to give up on a kid because it takes them a little bit more time to graduate or blah 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 blah.
Sure.
By the time you're in high school, I think it's pretty much to each his own. You can leave whenever you want to, as long as you have parental consent.
Really?
But yeah,
okay.
yeah.
I've
had plenty of cousins. That
you're not gonna get like arrested or something for you've dropped out of high school without our permission. You're going to jail.
That's how that works. No.
You're going to jail. Okay. Well.
Stop! You violated the law.
All right. Well, that really tangented off into something.
Video games.
I don't want to talk about video games right now.
You just kind of leave me out of that one then.
It's a pick 5 system where you have good qualities, bad qualities, and qualities.
Okay. Question, and I don't know how in depth we're gonna get to this one, but for everyone, everyone was generally in honors classes, honors, AP
classes,
sort of above.
Yes,
That's correct.
Did you guys at any point take a regulars class for anything, or for the most part?
Regulars pre-cal was my.
And this is high school.
Year. It was high school. My senior year, it was the first time I dropped out.
Of course, it's.
Not
I don't know why I said high school.
Yeah.
And it honestly.
Was it different for you?
Wasn't it great?
Oh yeah, it was so different. See, I struggled with math all through high school.
Yeah.
I am a really smart kid, and that's not being arrogant. I know I'm smart.
That's very.
But math.
Yeah.
Holy shit! Talk about an Achilles heel.
Yeah.
We're talking 70s all throughout. Started in 8th grade.
You got 70s.
Got 70s
smart.
all the way
Well, okay.
70s.
So, because like for example, in high school I took for instead of an AP English, I just took regular English 4 because I didn't want to do English because it's like I was a sucker. So, what's your perception of regular kids? Like, I'm not trying
regular kids.
Wow.
We are all of them.
I'm not, but I'm not trying to say like in a condescending way. Like, what's your perception?
Deplorables.
Because not the deplorables. That's for damn
What
sure.
is your
Hillary.
perception of the Untermensch?
No,
the
because like,
We the bourgeoisie.
Because seriously, it's like because I think for the most part, growing up, we stuck with the same kids because we stuck with the friends that we were friends with because we're all in the same classes and the same honors classes.
I don't know. I hung out with retards.
It was,
not,
but that was because you did sports and stuff in high school.
Yeah,
and
because I was a baseball kid. And
right. You're always going to get a mix in sports. Like you're not going to have the honor sports kids in the
There's a sport for that. It's called tennis.
Dropping bombs. John William Vandershan.
Who's that?
But I don't know. I was one of those kids that.
So you were kind of integrated with everybody.
Yeah, I was not. I mean, baseball had their own cult and whatnot.
Sure.
But I like to think that I spread around a lot. I hung out with the in quote nerds, or I hung out with because I also did theater tech, and so I hung out with some drama kids and some band geeks and blah 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 blah. But did I spend a hell of a lot more time with baseball kids? Hell yeah, I grew up with these kids. We've been playing baseball since we were 4 years old.
Sure.
Just because I took different classes and I figured out a better way to cheat than they did doesn't mean I can't hang out with them.
No, I understand. I'm just curious because it's like when I went into the regulars English, I was completely blown out of like the standards.
There's a definite drop off, and that's not insulting.
No, because like,
but like when I did take a jump from I could have taken calculus, or I could have taken a semester off from math in high school, and so I chose to do that because it was the middle of baseball season. But I would go and help tutor like pre-cal kids on math or whatever, and there is a definite drop off. Like, and it's just how much workload you're given. Like,
not even like the workload of the class, but I'm talking about like
you're talking about the environment.
Yeah, like the participation and the engagement. Like
when I was don't give a shit.
Yeah, because whenever I was like in with John and in AP English 3, literally it was always, oh, me, I have things to say, and blah blah blah. But when I was in the regulars class,
nobody said shit.
No, yeah, exactly. And it was like and again I had Miss Webb for English 4, and she was like struggling. It was like, oh, come on, guys, come on, blah blah blah. And so it's like, is that how it is for all of the classes? Like,
yeah, probably.
I couldn't say for sure, but definitely when I was in the pre-cal, I was same situation, blown away by how different people act and how there was a general atmosphere of just defeated amongst a lot of them.
Fuck this.
I mean, granted, it was senior year, so it would have been even more exaggerated.
Sure, but
it was honestly a little sad to see how they act and what they would do in the class, and just think, man, I wouldn't say that, not that they don't have a future, but it's, they've given up.
Well, now you're starting to sound pretentious.
The world needs ditch diggers, okay?
Wait, what?
The world needs ditch diggers, needs janitors, and needs people.
No, that's not what I'm saying.
But it's like
what I'm saying.
Like in my class, I almost felt bad for like wanting to ask questions and like learn more, because then it's like everyone else is like, why are you wasting our time?
Trying to get smart, you fucking idiot.
Like honestly,
what a nerd.
Again, not trying to sound like a piece of shit.
Idiocracy. Like, are you trying to read?
Like, coming to theaters.
But you're right. It's hard. Because of that atmosphere, it's very difficult to be like, for me, because I'm trying to pass the class, like legitimately pass.
Yeah.
But I didn't want everyone to ask anything. I always went to the teacher afterwards because everybody would just look at you.
Yeah.
And
because for the short period of time that I was in the AB calculus or BC calculus or whatever, because I was like, I'm going to do AP Physics C and BC calculus and blah, 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 blah.
LOL.
It was always like, people were like, hey, like they were just always asking questions, and they're always like, okay, well, I don't understand, so you're going to, not like specifically say this, but we're going to figure this out until I understand. But, I feel like in those other classes, it was just like, oh, I don't understand, whatever, okay, that's fine. It's life. It is what it is. So it's just, I don't know. I think it's interesting because it's like, I'm friends with a bunch of people who took regulars classes, and they're brilliant. They have insight, and they're very intuitive and everything like that. It's just, I find it baffling that our public education system's like, oh yeah, we have the bar is here for, my hand is high now. Bar is high for here, and then the bar is like really low for regulars because we just want to.
I don't know. I think that depends on the teacher though, because there were a couple of teachers. Because I think I took regular.
God, what a loser!
No, I didn't. I think it was regular science because I was so bad at science. I think I took like a regular chemistry or whatever my junior year. And I would go because it was regular physics my junior year, and the teacher was horrible. Nobody wanted to talk or anything, but she had to leave, and so we got a sub for about a month and a half, and that teacher turned the whole class around.
Really?
Where we were completely engaged. His name was Mr. Jenkins, and we completely turned the whole thing around, and he got us engaged, wanting to learn about fucking physics.
Jenkins.
Mr. Jenkins from SpongeBob.
Old man
Jenkins.
Real quick, did you guys see the SpongeBob anime?
Oh my god!
No, what?
Like, it was like some guy on YouTube. He made a
it's a fanfic. Okay.
Yeah, it's a fan thing.
Nah, definitely.
It's like if SpongeBob was an anime, so it was like a think like Naruto. That's the only
SpongeBob
anime
is an anime though.
It's a cartoon. Anime.
That's deep.
It's deep, yes. This is the type of question you should be asking: is SpongeBob an anime?
Is SpongeBob an anime? Sorry to interrupt. I just you said that, and I just wanted to ask.
SpongeBob movie
it was pretty fun.
As fun as the second SpongeBob movie.
Yo, the SpongeBob movie.
The first SpongeBob movie was amazing.
Good. What are you talking?
Wait, really?
No, we didn't get kicked out of the theater.
We have to hear this story.
There's literally
almost. It was almost.
No, not even almost. Not even.
All right.
But okay, so
start from the beginning.
So we were going to
One
the
day
movie
after work.
Was this when we were working at Jason's?
Yeah, it was one day after work.
So the SpongeBob movie came out, and I was like, "Oh my god, I gotta see this movie! I fucking love this SpongeBob movie!" And I fucking saw the first one and like a billion
wait,
times.
this is the second one.
The second one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, not the first.
Not
one.
the
So,
first
The
one.
first one was great.
First
The
one.
first one was amazing. The
Hall of
second
Fame.
one's also amazing.
Is it?
So, oh my god, I love the second one. It's so good.
Got a chance to see it.
So there's a
So-
scene. Okay, so pretty much, it's the traditional 2D SpongeBob cartoon, and then at
Mixed
some
with
point,
3D out of the water.
but
Yes.
that's at the last chunk of the movie is the 3D out of water, and so I was freaking the hell out because Sandy wasn't just like a 3D. Sandy was just a legit squirrel. And no,
But
3D
they've done that before.
I don't remember that, but it freaked me the hell out and I was laughing. Granted, there was like nobody in the theater, so I could kind of be a little more. So we were not even close to being kicked out. Blake was totally exaggerating.
Because the theater was empty.
It was like maybe
I think
just a
there were
couple
like
other
a parent
people,
and a
maybe,
couple
yeah.
of kids in
Yeah.
front of us, but
Yeah.
they were not laughing nearly as
Oh,
hard as we all were
I was enjoying
at this goddamn squirrel.
It was
That's
tickling my insides because it's just
I
like
can
you see
see that.
SpongeBob's a 3D animated figure, Squidward's a 3D animated figure, and then Sandy's just like, what are you doing? Just a squirrel.
I think that was
That
go
is
on.
so Yuval in movies, though.
Oh,
I
it was
remember.
so great.
Oh,
I
I
heard
need to
the
go to a
stories
movie
about
with
you
Yuval.
seeing one of the Harry Potter
Oh,
movies,
okay.
Paul Clark, and you when the Patronus came out with the
Yeah.
you're like,
Okay, so their band and went to Plano West or East was having a band night, and they were watching the first Deathly Hallows Part 1 or something like that. So we were watching it. So I went with a guy, Evan Rutledge, and no, I'm sorry, it was Keaton, and I think Evan was there. I don't remember. And so we go to the movie, and I'm like, oh, this is a free movie for me, whatever, I'm just going to have fun with it. And so, literally, all the time, I was just shouting, overreacting everything. So, like, when I think there was a snakes a couple points, and I'd always go like, "What? It's a snake!" Completely just overreact. There's a point in the movie where there's like a sword in the lake, and I'm just like, "It's Excalibur!" And then Nick Schellenberger, he was just like, "Wrong movie, dumbass!" So it's just the whole. I was totally exaggerating and just like,
you to a movie.
"Oh,
I've got to go to a movie with you
Yeah.
sometime.
yeah, oh, all the time. Like, it's brilliant." And I mean,
Yeah,
even now, John Peterson and a couple other people, we have an inside joke because, and again, this is really shitty for me saying, but I forget what movie we were watching, but it was a commercial, and so Colin College was playing as a commercial, and just as loud as I could, I was just like, "Throwing your life away!" So again, the horrible. I regret it, but it's still really funny.
It's Quad C now.
It is Colin,
Hey.
but yeah. So I'll always especially in horror movies, and that's partially
We went
why
to
I
go
don't-
see the movie where like they're
the
on FaceTime.
the blender, the guy.
They're on the horror movie where it's like they're on FaceTime and they were making fun of a girl.
Wow.
We went to go. Me and my girlfriend and Yuval went to go see that.
Yes.
And dude, he was screaming more than my
Oh, yeah.
girlfriend.
Oh yeah,
was.
horror movies. There's a switch in my head that as soon as I'm watching a scary movie, it's okay to yell and scream.
We should
Like,
go
I
see
forgot
Saw
who
8
was
together.
tugging on my arm.
I'm so excited for the new
I'm
Saw
gonna
movie.
see Saw
I'm
on
so
Halloween.
excited. Literally, I have
No.
a freaking 1 through 7 box set Blu-ray.
No.
Oh, let's go
cannot
see
wait.
it together
No.
too.
No, I don't want to.
I'm going to see it next week. I'm seeing it next week.
Nope,
No,
Yuval, I will
Not
watch
Yuval.
Saw with you on premiere night.
I'm so
Are you gonna
excited.
dress up, too?
I'm excited.
I will.
I should. I have a shot. I have a
Yo,
jigsaw
Yuval
mask.
shows up in a unit, like a little bicycle.
I have a jigsaw mask somewhere.
Oh yeah, but
Yeah.
yeah, I think I've seen it actually.
We need to go.
Probably
But yeah.
shouldn't do that.
Scare the shit out of kids.
Why?
Oh, I'm sure we won't be the only
Scare the
ones
shit
doing
out of
it.
kids
Okay.
walking out of the Emoji movie.
Yeah.
Okay, I want to see that movie. Like when
No,
it
you
comes
don't.
out on
No, you
Redbox, I want to see
No,
it.
you don't.
I want to see it.
Nope.
Jax Films has propped it up so much and shit posted the fuck out of it. I want to see it. Anyways, real quick.
Next topic.
Well, no. This okay. But,
Oh, sorry. Yeah.
well, I was gonna say.
I like the
Well,
entertainment
well,
topic. Let's go on. What were you gonna say?
Shit. I can't remember what I was
More
gonna say.
about
Literally,
movies?
you
Horror.
derailed me. Derailed
Horror.
me with the no. It's not horror.
Sandy's a squirrel.
No.
You've got a boat and you have to save one of your family members. Who is it?
Mom gone.
I'll have-
We're okay. I'm not doing that. Sorry.
I can't remember now. Thank you, Blake, for derailing.
Great. Thank you. On it. Indeed.
Indeed.
That's all to you,
Thank you.
sir.
LinkedIn.
Yes.
I can't remember. I'm so sad now.
Dead
So
air.
Rainbow Six
Dead
Siege
air.
is a pretty amazing game.
So 5 qualities.
All right, so we'll move on to another topic.
maybe last big question. We're coming up on 2 hours soon.
We're not coming up on. We're not even close to 2 hours. We're only at 1 hour and 20 minutes. Calm down.
Coming up on 2.
All right, so we'll here's a really deep and very philosophical. Here we go. Are you ready?
Yeah, bring it on.
What social media do we use? I use Twitter
Barely
and Instagram and Facebook and sometimes Snapchat every now and then. Blake?
Define social
I have
media.
literally deleted every single one of my
Anything that where you have an online presence.
any social media platform.
But didn't you have the Big Mac on Twitter or something? You were the Big Mac.
And it's deleted.
Why?
Because
Why?
I got tired of it.
What about Facebook?
Deleted.
Why? You have no social media presence.
No.
Why?
You
don't link to articles and stuff and read shit on Facebook.
I can do that on my own. I can
do it on my own.
I can.
So literally, you just got bored, or were you trying to avoid something?
No, I'm trying to avoid the overall narcissistic feel of it all that I felt had a very heavy hold on everybody and everybody that was on it.
I think people over-exaggerate that to an extent because it's sure, it's like, ooh, look at me, look at me, look at me, look at me, but I think Jesus Christ, I'm sorry. Realistically, when you're on social media and stuff like that, you're there to connect. You're there to chat with people and whatever. And because I barely post anything to Facebook. Literally, I'll spend Zach. Do you remember that one time when I was trying to do the Fresh Prince parody or something like that? We were talking about it for
We'll get back to that.
It was I was gonna post on Facebook, and I think I did. I was like, for the longest time, I thought he said the French Prince of Bel-Air and not the Fresh Prince. And I was talking with Zach for a good 10-15 minutes about how to construct this post. So it's with Facebook and I mean Twitter, I've kind of let go a little bit just because that's the idea of it. But with Facebook, I'm always okay, start this. Is it good? No, okay, we'll delete it. We'll come back half an hour later and try and redo it for me. So I don't think it was glorifying.
But why post? Why?
To get a laugh.
Why?
Because I'm a comedian. Ha 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 ha. Well, I don't know.
Do you like the attention, or do you like to see who?
Yeah, of course. I mean, the attention's great. I mean,
there you go.
It's you're right. It is self-justification and self-value. But I'm not going to say, my French Prince post only got 3 likes. I'm a piece of shit garbage.
Well, you see, that's where I think it actually is kind of like that. Otherwise, I don't.
For the large users.
Yeah, for especially people younger, a couple of years younger than us, because we were one of the first people to be introduced to social media as this giant. We were in high school when Twitter finally took off. We were in high school when Snapchat and Instagram really started rising up the ranks. Yeah. But these kids nowadays, they see what we did on social media, and now that's normal, and that's I don't think that's any way to. I guess my life has become much more simple now. You wake up, get a cup of coffee, get one good shit, go to work, go back home, eat dinner, talk to your girlfriend.
Real quick, I love coffee shits.
Aren't they the best?
They're amazing. Better
I
than...
used to judge the Italians for smoking on the toilet with coffee, but oh man.
You have for obviously I don't do it at work, but good Saturday morning, you had a hearty dinner on Friday night. Saturday morning, get a coffee, have a cigarette, and just, oh my god, the best bowel movement you will ever have in your life. Partially, I think smokers, they smoke because of the good shits. That's probably why.
It's A1.
It is. It's A1 steak sauce. Zach, you're on your phone. What are you looking up? Are you looking up your social media?
I am trying to figure out something real quick.
Talking to the mic,
so my social media presence, I had a Facebook, but I sort of use mostly just because it's Facebook to keep in touch.
Real quick, sorry. Go back to do you have a LinkedIn? Or
yeah, but I don't use it ever.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Zach.
Yeah, I have LinkedIn. That's my major. That's the one I mostly use. And I had a Twitter, but I deleted it, got rid of that. Kind of what's the... I just deleted it. It's something, it was literally a high school thing. I saw no interest or value in it.
Did you be on a Geek Yak?
I did use Geek Yak for a little bit, freshman year when it was
Geek Yak was awesome. I love Geek Yak.
But,
so many random posts.
Yeah, but it quickly became, it used to have a lot of original content in the post, and then it became...
And then it's Reddit, but
reskinned.
Reddit, but reskinned, yeah.
So any other... Because you have Snapchat.
I have Snapchat, but I don't really use it. I'll do it to... I use it every once in a while, when I show people my new glasses.
Why don't you send me pictures? Just be like, hey, I'm in class.
Why? Why do that?
I don't know.
Because I value funny faces, and I think it's funny. And if I'm at work and Zach sends me a picture of him making a goofy face, that's gonna make me smile.
Well, you got me there then.
Thank you.
See, for me, it's I guess it just depends on relationships you have with people because people have all their Snap stories. But I don't care about it. I hate.
Go ahead. Finish your thought.
Like a few things.
I hate. No, I'm just kidding. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
I don't know. I use it to send it to like relevant people that are close to me. Just let them know, hey, look, I got glasses. Something cool. Like here's something about my life.
Well, why not post it to Facebook or something? Is that too much? Too many people you don't want?
Because I don't care. I'm gonna send it. I'm gonna send it and talk it to the people that I care about, who I care to know. Everybody else, like posting things widely to Facebook and stuff. It's like what? It's just like here's my life. Here's my internet point.
It's a snapshot.
I'm doing well in life. That's what most people seem to try and go for.
Sure, of course.
Getting internet points.
Oh yeah, if they can.
It's for me. It's like whatever.
If they can convince you, a direct part of The Office. Gabe, yes. Wake up, The Office. With a part where Andy gets canned and he starts doing the rock opera, and so they go to the dog convention, or not the convention, but like the charity for dogs. And so then Andy's having this revelation, and the dog carer of these disabled dogs, Andy starts talking, and at the same time they're like, the dog owner, he interrupts and he's like, you thought that if you can convince other people that you're okay, that you'd be okay too. So, thank you, Gabe, for chiming in with that. I appreciate it.
You're welcome. I've never seen that episode. So.
Golly, I've seen a bajillion episodes.
Yeah, I don't see the shit episodes of The Office.
Well, Gabe, you literally, like 2 weeks ago, we were watching Pam's wedding, and we were just quoting shit.
Yeah, that one's alright, but it's in the midst of shit episodes.
I can quote things, but it's alright.
I don't quote the dog episode because that's shit.
Well, I'm not. I'm just because it's relevant to what we're talking about. Where
I'm just saying, if we can say
if Blake, we weren't that great of friends, and I post to Facebook, oh, I just did a thing, and then you're like, oh, you've all did a thing. That's cool. He must be doing well in life.
I don't care.
Well, I'm just saying, if you're a normal person,
I think we got fined perfectly without us blasting our whole fucking social life on a website.
Well, sure.
And I don't...
think about all the people who have blogs and stuff like that. Because blogs have been around forever. I mean, it's just a different interface.
If you feel like you need to get your opinion out that bad and create a blog, go ahead. I'm not going to stop you.
Why?
Because I don't care.
Why?
I don't care.
Why? Am I not valued? Am I not on your value list?
Your opinion on the Emoji Movie is not on my top list.
I want to see the Emoji Movie so bad.
I would see it. No, I would not see it. But I will go look up on YouTube the one poop emoji part because I know Patrick Stewart.
Yeah. Literally, isn't it like within the first 10 minutes they make like 5 poop jokes or something?
I don't know. I've never seen it.
I thought you're giving so much hate and you've never seen it.
Just from what I've seen, I'm not seeing it.
Gabe, are you ready for this?
The Emoji Movie?
No. Are you ready for this? I'm officially converting the negative Nancy over to Blake. Blake is now the negative Nancy.
Perfectly fine with that.
Wow. Okay. Well, that was not as big
for a while anyway.
Gabe in high school. Gabe was such a negative Nancy.
No.
Literally, Louis Milish and me and Gabe, we'd all be just at psychology on our table. We'd be talking and stuff like that, and then Gabe would just make some really negative comment, and I'm just like, Gabe, stop being a negative Nancy.
I don't know if it's negative.
Totally
I think it's just
practical,
neutral. I don't care.
Well, coming off as neutral and or practical can be.
Hold on, real quick. Yeah. Gabe, social media. What do you use?
I use Facebook Messenger to chat people.
And them boys.
Tweeted something during the fight and no one answered.
Why?
Because I'm not.
Do you follow
on
me?
Social media.
Follow me, bro.
I have nothing to tweet anyway.
Well, follow me. I tweet good things. You can retweet me.
I don't retweet anybody.
Wow, you are so dead right now, Gabe. Are you okay?
I'm tired and hungry.
Oh well, I'm hungry too. Do we need
this
to
podcast should come with food?
Well, I was saying we can order a pizza or something, and if we're all hungry. Zach, are you hungry? Or is this?
I could do with food, but at this point, by the time pizza gets here, it's like 9:30.
Yeah, I might be dipping anyway.
People will probably leave.
Dipping Skull. No, leave
right,
it.
well,
we got to about an hour and a half.
But not to derail.
No.
But the social media, I don't ever really use it except for messaging people.
On them boys.
Yeah, and I guess it's so fucking hilarious. Actually,
Dude,
I talk more to people on Discord for Rainbow Six Siege than I do on any other social media.
Are we friends on Discord, Gabe?
I think so, but you don't play Siege, so it might doesn't even matter.
All the time.
When do you play
Siege
Siege?
right now?
When?
Right now.
Yeah.
God, it's good.
It is good. We gotta friend each other. That's
all right.
happen.
Well, we're getting on to that hour and a half, so we can wrap it up, call it a day, and I'm hungry.
Yeah, I'm
honestly
fucking
hungry,
starving
so,
too.
No, we're good. All right. Well, that wraps up, I guess, the first episode / test run / whatever of our podcast. Still don't have a confirmed name. Probably not a good idea. But
next week we talk about Rainbow Six Siege.
So next week we're going to give you a
Next
3-hour
week,
special.
Their good qualities, bad qualities, and neutral qualities.
Yeah, we need to do homework. No, I'm not kidding.
No, it's gonna be a 3-hour special on pick 5.
Exactly.
Okay,
I'll have
I was
so
laughing.
many for you.
I was laughing when Gabe was saying about the pick 5 because instantly I was just thinking of the McPick 2, and I was like, "What are we at McDonald's here?" Like, I just
And yes, we
does
are.
this guy does he eat chicken
Don't
sandwiches?
let
Does
McDonald's know about my video game.
he?
Intellectual property. It's
It's
what I've
true.
stolen.
But yeah, I appreciate if people have listened this far. That's really awesome. I don't know if you're just like baked out of your mind,
Listen,
or you're
you do-
drunk as hell, or like you just forgot that we're playing in the background or something like that. So
You do need a gaming podcast.
I mean,
because we could talk about that for
the
a long time.
the idea is at least set a baseline and then branch off to if we have different ideas or gaming or whatever it is. But for now, keep this general, keep it open.
I mean,
and
this
stuff
one
like
could
that.
stay the way it is, but you.
Oh,
need a
it
gaming
can. Thank you,
podcast.
Gabe, for allowing me to stay the same
Yeah,
way.
you're welcome.
But,
Thanks for letting me explain my pick 5 system.
But yeah, I
What was
appreciate
it again? Can you explain?
All right, so
All right,
you
next
guys-
time. All right, everybody. I really appreciate it, and peace out. Here's a signature sign off.
Play end music.
Do, 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 do.